time travel, dinosaurs, giant robots, delivering newspapers, and the 1980s? I'm Tim from the Whiskey Geeks, and today I'm going to talk about Paper Girls. Stick around and find out if it's something that you should pick up the next time you are at your local comic shop. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Short Box. I've got myself a nice glass of Bowmore 12, and we are going to keep talking Paper Girls. Paper Girls is an amazing sci-fi story. I think it's amazing, at least. Other people probably have different opinions. Written by Brian K Vaughn. Some of you probably know him from his Saga story. The first Brian K Vaughn story I read actually was Paper Girls, which is how I came to love his writing. A lot of people really love Saga. If you are a fan of Saga and the science fiction and you haven't checked out Paper Girls, I highly recommend you read this book. The artist on this book was Cliff Chiang. Also, incredible work. And the colorist as well, I think it's Matt Wilson. 2 seconds, I'm going to dip out of frame and pick the book up. I should have prepped better. Hold on. There it is. Found the one with the credits. So yeah, Matt Wilson did the colors on this book, and it's so chock full of 80s nostalgic goodness. So for me, one of the reasons why I really like this book is because I am a child of the 80s. You know, I born in the early 80s, so a lot of the early 80s or late 80s, 90s nostalgia stuff really gets me right in the feels. So this book, the art just has that vibe all over it. So the story, I don't want to get into spoilers. As you know, we do on the Short Box. We don't really do too much spoilers, but basically, 4 12-year-old girls who deliver newspapers all get together on Halloween, and I believe it's 1988, just outside of Cleveland, and then a whole bunch of chaos happens that involves time travel, and there's dinosaurs come into the story, giant robots, kind of like Transformers. There's huge Zeppelin cities, floating cities. There's like some like fourth dimension weirdness that gets into it as well. The comic ran for a number of years. I can't remember off the top of my head how many issues there were in the whole run, but it is a complete story now. I highly recommend everybody goes and gets it and reads it. Amazon actually just bought the television rights, so they are starting to film a TV show on Paper Girls starting this year. They're going to be filming in Chicago. They have cast the 4 main characters of Tiffany, KJ, Mac, and Aaron. And then this week, actually, they just announced that Ali Wong is joining the cast as older Aaron, because throughout the course of the story, the girls meet themselves in the future. So there's this whole time travel thing that goes along throughout the course of the book. Cliff Chiang's art also is just great. I'm going to be flashing some images up for those listening to this on the podcast. Please go and look up Cliff Chiang's artwork. It's really great. It's like really thick, dark outlines, but it like mixes styles too, so it's sometimes kind of leans more anime-ish, but it also has some like cartoony aspects to it, and there's like some realism as well in there as well. So like it's stylistically really great. I really enjoy the art on this book, and Brian K Vaughn's writing is just amazing as always. And like I already said, Matt Wilson, the colors on this book, they're just so bright. I mean, you can see behind me here, it's like bright pink and neon, and I'll be again flashing artwork up on the video side, but it's just super bright. Pastel-y neon, which totally brings that like 80s vibe back. I like to tell people, if you like Stranger Things, you'll probably like this book. We have an intro to comics article on our website, thewhiskeygeeks.com, and we at the bottom of that article, we actually have a whole list of, if you like this, try this. And we actually did that. If you like Stranger Things, the show, try Paper Girls, because it's that sci-fi 80s nostalgia that everybody who loved Stranger Things, that's one of the things that everybody loves. So I think you'll really like that about this book too. And the letters as well. It's Jared Fletcher. Yes, Jared Fletcher. The letters as well. Like when they're in the future, there's this whole other group of people from the future, and they don't speak English. So it's all symbols that goes in. But the lettering work is great. The whole creative team is awesome. I know there are a lot of other reviews of Paper Girls, but a lot of mixed reviews actually of Paper Girls. Some people think that the dialogue isn't great. You know, they're 12-year-old girls, and Max, specifically the character, she does swear a whole lot. A lot of people tended to have problems with the dialogue in this book. I didn't get any of that. It took me a little bit to really get into it. Like I picked up, as you can see, I showed you, like I read it in trades. I didn't buy single issues. So I was enjoying it for the first trade, but then at the end, it really hooked me. And then that's when I thought, okay, I really need to get the next one. I now own them all and have read them multiple times. And I'm very, very excited to see how they pull this off TV show wise. I mean, let's be honest, Amazon has all of the money in the world to throw stuff. And a lot of the Amazon Prime content that's coming out right now is fantastic. And to be honest, I'm really, really enjoying all of the comic book properties that are being turned into shows. Another one that I'm sure we will talk about is Sweet Tooth, which is a Jeff Lemire book, which is also coming out. I think that's Netflix though, but there's previews and stuff up on that now. But I'm really excited to see what they do with this. The book's great. Again, it like jumps all over the timeline between going back to prehistoric times. So you see dinosaurs, and then there's like prehistoric people, but they've got futuristic weaponry. It jumps into the future, so there's flying cars, total Back to the Future, kind of Back to the Future 2 when they go into the future, and there's like hoverboards and all that stuff. Get to see a glimpse of the future. It's also like this amazing coming of age story for the four girls. It's right at that, they're all 12 in the story, so it's right around that time. We all remember what it's like to be 12 years old. You're starting to learn who you are, your friendships, you're starting to develop really, really strong friendships with people. So it's just right at that perfect sweet spot. I think they hit it completely out of the park story-wise. I think thematically it's really great. I can't say enough good things about Paper Girls. So if you haven't tried it, I would say go and try it because it's a really fun book to read. And if you're going to do so, drink something nice. I mean, we're going to be doing an official podcast with Paper Girls in the future. We do have a couple of whiskeys. We narrowed it down to a few whiskeys on what we're going to pair with. Bowmore 12 is not it. I was just feeling like something kind of sort of peaty, but not too crazy peaty, as you can, like a Lagavulin or a Lafroy or something like that. I just wanted a little bit of smoke to end my night while I was filming this. So that's why I picked this, but we will be coming out with a full podcast episode, pairing this with something coming down the line. So make sure you are subscribed. Please hit the subscribe button in the YouTube channel. If you're an audio person and you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcast, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and making so that you can get notifications every time we come up with new content. We do have episodes that come out twice a week. So we do a short box every week where we talk about comic books. And then on Fridays, we either do a neck pour session, which is we open a brand new bottle of whiskey and give a quick hit review on what we think of it. Or we've got our full podcast episodes where we are pairing, where we are pairing whiskey and comic books together. So follow along, come to the website, whiskeygeeks.com. You can email us as well, thewhiskeygeeks@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram. Guess what? It's at The Whiskey Geeks. You know it. And as always, folks, leave comments as well. Let us know. Do you like Paper Girls? Do you not like Paper Girls? I have no problem talking to people who don't like this book. If you don't like the book, tell us why you didn't like the book. It's not for everybody. I'm guessing. I think it is. If you like sci-fi stories and you like that 80s nostalgia, you're gonna love it. So again, thanks, folks. Tim from the Whiskey Geeks. Appreciate you all being here and watching this. And as always, Scotch and stories are made for each other. Cheers.